let's go surfing and let's see what we can find here. In other playthroughs I've done on my own, this has been a place where sometimes you can find some really broken Pokemon like Rayquaza, and sometimes you're stuck with like Weedle. So I won't sleep on Weedle or Caterpie or anything like that, but let's hope for something big and powerful. That's our first legendary encounter. That is worth going for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, for the first time since the last time, it's that time, right about that time, for your favorite Pokemon challenge and mine. My name is Sebastian Todd III. You may call me ST3, and this is the Pokemon HeartGold Randomizer Nuzlocke episode 17 of the first series here on the channel. And we will begin as we typically do with a quick team recap. Here we have Denny, P67, the Rhydon, level 44 with Water Absorb, Rock Blast, Hammer, Arm Stomp, and Rock Smash. We then have Broticon level 43. He is our slacking Anticipation with Feint Attack, Strength, Cut, and Slack off. Luca, level 37, not number 37. With Chlorophyll, Quick Attack, Bullet Punch, Aura Sphere, and Swords Dance. We have Bartlett, also level 37, with Storm Drain, Petal Dance, Synthesis, Razor Leaf, and Poison Powder. We have Wendy, the Gengar, again level 37, Shadow Ball, Payback, Shadow Punch, Nightshade with Shell Armor, and Orion sitting here at level 29 with the Hustle ability, Bite, Water Gun, Rollout, Leer. As I said, this is episode 17. If you haven't seen episode 16 yet, go back and check that out. But you will notice in episode 16 that we lost our MVP, the Legend Killer himself, Zombie the Dugong. So Orion is on the team here to replace Zombie. Not that we can replace, but try to fill that role of being a good water type, strong water type on the team. And if you are watching this and you have seen episodes 1 through 16, thank you so much for hanging out. Please, if you are enjoying your time here, hit that like button down below and think about subscribing, because while this is the first series on the channel, this will not be the last. We are just getting started here. Every adventure starts somewhere, and this is our start. So yeah, please hit the like button, hit subscribe down below if you are enjoying your time here on the channel. And leave a comment. Let me know what is going on. I don't think we did a comment question in episode 16. So let's leave a quick question down below, and we will make it topical because it is the throes of March Madness right now. Who do you have winning the men's and women's tournaments? As I may have mentioned in episode 16, I had Arizona winning, and then they promptly got beaten. And then I believe I have UConn winning it all for the women. I am very biased. I respect Gino Auriemma, the head coach at UConn, a ton. And I know they're, I think, a 2 seed for the women's bracket, but I am definitely rooting for them, so I picked with my heart. But yeah, who are you rooting for? Who do you have to win it all? How badly is your bracket busted, if at all, at this moment? So let me know in the comments below. And our episode 17 reminder, drink your water, recycle your plastic bottles. Well, I know we all need a good reminder to continue to drink as much water as we can. In this episode 17, today we are going to try to wrap up the radio tower rocket takeover nonsense here, and then move on, get a couple of encounters, hopefully as well, and maybe make our way toward Blackthorn, where we can take on the 8th gym in episode 18, and then a lot to do in episode 19 as well, before we take on the Elite Four, which will probably be episode 20. But we will see where we get to at that point. And as I mentioned, leave a comment down below. Broticon, Denny P67, Danders, the Fallen Croconaw in our death box in the back. All named after those of you who left comments on previous episodes. So if you are enjoying this series, if you are enjoying your time here, if you're having some fun, please leave a comment down below, and I will try to name an encounter after you at some point. So we're running into a couple of Pokemon that we've discussed in the past that we just don't have a great counter for right now. We have the Magby. We've talked about this, I think, in several episodes in right now. We have a Magmy, but no way to get a Magmortar. And unless we get a Magmar that has a dummy ability like Rhydon has, that dummy broken water absorb, Magmar might be the way to go just because we need something. But our flying type, the only flying type we have really, has Klutz and can't hold the experience share. So to grind that up, we probably have to be between episodes and just start with some lower level areas and then grind. Swallow's a decent Pokemon, but we got a couple more encounters coming up today. At least 2 encounters here today, depending on how quickly we can get to Blackthorn. We might even be able to bump that to 4. So, got a chance for something powerful there. While I often think, Charizard's a great Pokemon, I sometimes feel that it's a little bit overrated just because so many people love it. But it's a great design. It's a very powerful Pokemon. It's fire and flying. We would definitely not say no to that. But otherwise, there's legendaries, Moltres and Ho-Oh, but a good fire or a good flying type would definitely help us in the long run. I think preferably a flying type so that we can just keep it on the team and be able to fly back and forth between different towns and cities would just make life a little bit more convenient. But as of now, we will rock out with what we've got. We still haven't taught Orion anything quite yet, specifically like surf or anything like that. But we're just here to get Orion some levels. Because our zombie was, I think, level 39 when the electrode exploded and took us down. Back so that when we get to the encounters, I can take a look at previous episodes and find a powerful nickname to, name after all of you. So thank you again for enjoying the series. And the whole point of the series will be just to get some experience, to have some fun, to learn a little bit more about this whole process. So if you are enjoying that, subscribe to the channel because we're going to grow. And if you're not enjoying it, thank you for sticking with us through episode 17. But leave a comment down below with some constructive criticism on how you think we can make this a little bit better. We're trying to get better at editing and presentation and all that. So we've seen a couple different formats and layouts throughout the series so far. If there's one that you really like, you think that's the one, go with that. If you have some suggestions of, hey, have you thought about putting this there and trying that here, let me know. I would love to get better. That's the whole goal here, is just getting better, having fun, building community, going from there. Today too, as this goes up, is Saturday, so happy weekend everybody. If it is your weekend, it's a Moltres, but we're not afraid. We've got Danny B67, who is really rapidly over the last couple episodes becoming our MVP. Now I wonder, with the Endure, if this brings it down to 1, will the second one take it down? No. And we're going to get a third off, and that's it. So smart by Moltres to Endure there. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful weekend. Hopefully that you are, if you don't have to work, you've got something planned that's going to be relaxful, it's going to recharge you. Maybe with some friends, with some family members, maybe just by yourself. Maybe, hey, I've got a little bit of time to myself. That's never a bad thing. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. It can be just as relaxing as anything else. But whatever that looks like for you, I hope you get to enjoy it. And if not, I hope you make the most of it. If there's something I'd rather be hanging out with this person, or saying hi to these folks, or doing this or that, make the most of where you are. At the same time, it's all we can try to do. Just make the best of whatever situation we find ourselves in. Hopefully in this recording, this episode, we will not find ourselves in a situation like we did in the last several. We have had a little streak now. We went a very long time without losing anybody. And then over the last few episodes, we have seen several team members fall by the wayside. From our Luxio to Croconaw to Dodrio to Venus and Rome. Didn't even see what was coming. I was slacking. Okay. We're not too afraid because I don't think Slacking has a fighting type move yet. We're well ahead of it in levels. So yeah, Saturday. Not a lot of huge plans here. As I mentioned before, we might sneak over to our favorite ice cream place. All depends on how the wife is feeling after having worked a ton this week, and working night shifts is, I can't imagine doing it. I've started to get more and more on her shift, like her sleeping schedule, and I don't have the pressure of being a night nurse to go with it. So, um, excuse me, I know how tiring it is for me not having those pressures. I can't imagine what night nurses go through, and I know it's not just night nurses, but many professions that work overnights that have that additional stress. So, if you are one of those people who is a night nurse, a doctor, a firefighter, EMT, military, thousand others, just thank you so much for what you do. I know there's a lot of controversy in a lot of places, and people say different things. And any politics aside, I've been really blessed to be around people who work in healthcare. Like my wife, I, in past life, through some volunteer work and through AmeriCorps terms, interacted an awful lot with military, but specifically more so with police, with firefighters, with EMTs. And I know it can just be a lot, and the intentions are more often than not, about helping others and being there for others. So, if you're one of those folks, just thanks so much for what you do, and know that you are appreciated and you are loved. And if you're not, know that you are appreciated and loved as well. Thanks, everybody. We need each other. We all have different skill sets. We all have different backgrounds and passions, and without one another, this world would be really dull. So, be you, embrace you, as long as you're not hurting others. There's so many great things that we each can contribute to society. So, there's our little soapbox conversation of the day. There is a Magnemite on the screen. I believe that at some point Denny P67 is going to get Earthquake, and we would definitely appreciate that for sure. The rock type stab moves have been great. We've encountered a lot of birds, and really the rocks are the only bird killers that we have right now. We've killed many a bird with these stones here. And while this trainer might be avoidable, it's always great to get just a little bit of extra experience in on our team. And every bit of experience helps. We don't say no to an opportunity. Plus, this isn't any kind of versus. We're not racing to the end. We're just trying to see if we can do this without losing a lock. We haven't lost a lock yet. We've lost a lot of mods, but we have not lost the team yet. That Latios came close. That was probably the closest we've come, and hopefully the closest we will come. But so far, the team has withstood for the most part. I will say, I will talk about something exciting that happened. I've debated bringing this up on the video or not, but I'm going to because I'm really excited about it. We got our wedding videos in yesterday. So there's like the pared down version, which I guess came a couple days ago, but kind of all the. Sorry if the mouse was there, but in the screen. But yeah, we had the like the edited down version about 6.5 minutes that included bits from the ceremony and from the reception, and had bits from the two speeches we had at the wedding or the reception from the maid of honor and from the best man, and then the full ceremony video, which is kind of great because one of my favorite parts is my wife gets her mother walks her down the aisle and hands her off to me, and I hug her mom, and she and I kind of look at each other across the little step there, and I'm already in tears just seeing her come down the steps and walk down to us. Camouflage. I don't think I've ever used camouflage in anything. Um, but so we hold hands, and the first thing I say to her, it's the first time I saw her in the dress. I wanted to be traditional. I didn't want to do a first look. I wanted to not see her until she was there. And the way the venue was set up, I told the best man and the officiant, who was one of my sisters, hey, when I'm going to keep my head kind of low when she comes down, kind of give me the nudge and be like, look up now. And so the first thing I say to her when we're standing there, and the mic caught it, was I tried to say it quietly just to her. So I don't think people really heard it until the video, but I said to her, damn girl, because she looked amazing in the dress. And the first thing she says to me, seeing me all teary eyed, which we knew I would be, I'm a sap. The first thing she says to me is, stop that, which I thought was just funny. Stop the crying, which not a bad thing. Not a bad thing to feel your emotions, to cry the happy tears, all that kind of stuff. We need this dude to come up to this Machoke so that we can have the Machoke move that block for us. There we go. He just did not want to get up there. Nothing great in these items here, but always worth checking out because you never know what you might find. Lucky Egg would be great. Master Ball would be great. Oh, I did not want to go to 6-4. I'm just mashing the A button there, but all is good. But yeah, it's just really great. And I've watched both versions, the 11 minutes of the full ceremony and the 6.5 minute kind of, best of highlights, and just get kind of teary eyed every time. Hey, a Dusk Ball. Not really why we came here, but worth it, because might as well see if we can't win something. Let's see if I can do this correctly this time and get to level 1. We won't buy anything right now. I think before we leave town, we will come back here and we will check out the store and buy some more potions and buy some more Pokeballs. Kind of ramp up because there's no Pokemon near the Lake of Rage. This is our best bet until we get to Blackthorn. So we'll do that. But we are moving right along here today. Pretty good pace. Which we definitely want to incorporate in everything we do. Find that good rhythm that works for us. Don't necessarily have to fall into routines and habits and all of that. Like, it's good to build certain habits. Sometimes it's hard to break certain habits, but like when you're trying to get into a routine, it's good to just start kind of getting something right. You want to lose weight, you want to exercise more, you want to eat better, you want to get better about reading or learning a certain skill. You kind of build a rhythm a little bit first, right? And kind of figure out what works for you, what doesn't work. And right now, this is working, right? This is going all right. Been experimenting a little bit behind the scenes on some ideas for a future series and what that might look like layout wise and stuff like that, trying to see what I can come up with to get a little bit better every time. So I feel like getting into a decent groove where I know that this series isn't earth shattering, it's not the best ever or anything like that, and it's not intended to be. Yeah, I mean, I want it to be. I don't want it to be bad by any means, but I know that we're still learning, we're still growing. So yeah, just looking at the different things we can do. Maybe in this series still, if we can figure out, a couple of tricks and tips still. But really, what can we do for the next series? What will the next series be? If you have thoughts on what you want to see next, drop it down below. I have a handful of ideas. Some I don't quite think my editing skills are where I want them to pull off, but you'll see those for sure down the line. Uh, and then some ideas where I think, yeah, we could definitely do that in the next series, and it's just a matter of trying to make that all work together. So we are gonna see, but we still got a long ways to go in this series. We still have a gym badge to get, and as I've said before, we're going all the way to red in this one. So once we get into Kanto, a lot of the levels, other than the gym leaders, are pretty nil. So it's not like we're going to be encountering, well, that didn't go out the way we wanted because we are quad weak, I should say, to Snover in terms of the grass moves. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch in Brodicon because we don't want to risk any P67. I know we're 16 levels higher, but Ice Shard probably wouldn't have done much. Rock resists, but ground doesn't. It'd be neutral to us, but if he hits us with a grass move, we are quad weak against that. Denny P67 is Brodicon, everything's neutral, so we will just overpower there. Yeah, we got a long way to go. And so once we get into Kanto, like I was saying, the gym levels are about the same as Gym 8 here, but the other trainers, really aren't anything too much to fuss over. We should have a decent time getting through Kanto itself. I mean, there's always a chance to run into a Pokemon that's broken or another Latios, but the hardest part of that is going to be getting enough levels so we can take on Red because most of the Red's Pokemon are going to be in the 80s. So in Kanto's, there's really no good place to grind in Kanto until you're just right outside the mountain. So definitely something that we'll look forward to completing in future episodes. I probably don't have a ton of time left on this series. I mean, plenty of stuff to do, but probably 10 days, maybe 10 more episodes in here. We're at episode 17 right now. We'll probably get into Kanto before long, and I forgot Denny P67 was asleep, so we're going to take the crunches and stuff for a bit, but we're not too afraid of Eradicate. The biggest thing it could do is if it has Super Fang, cuts your HP in half immediately, but I assume if it had Super Fang, it would go for Super Fang, and it's not. And we'll talk about this, speaking of cutting. Wow, Eradicate timed that perfectly to Sucker Punch us, knowing we'd wake up and hit. But speaking of cutting HP in half and stuff, we are currently in the window right now, the first window for the Decidueye in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And I went in last night and caught the Decidueye myself. My hope is that as this channel grows, that at some point we can stream stuff like that on the channel. So when we get those Scarlet and Violet drops of other Pokemon, we can do that on stream, and you guys can kind of help me out and stuff like that. I saw a video this morning. If you don't watch Austin John Plays, has amazing videos, so educational and helpful. I learned a lot about how to be a better Pokemon player from Austin John Plays. So shout out to him. But I was watching a video this morning of how to make that an easier catch, and I'm like, where was this video last night? Because it took me several tries to be able to catch Decidueye, and then the hack this not the hack, but the game plan he presented this morning, or at least that's what I saw. It might have been last night that he put the video out, but I saw the video this morning. It took like 5 or 6 turns in the actual battle. It took me like 6 or 7 attempts at the battle to even get it. But I did get the Decidueye, which is one of my favorite grass starters. One of my favorite grass Pokemon. I love it. So pretty excited to have that on the team now in Scarlet and Violet. Well, just in Violet. I started with Scarlet. Scarlet was the first of the Gen 9 games I got and played. I played it for a couple weeks, and then got Violet after, uh, and went into Violet and really started playing that. And I think um, where I've gotten more into Violet, or why I've gotten more into Violet, is so my first starter in Gen 9 was Fuecoco, um, because he's so adorable and just love that little Pokemon. But the hard part of Fuecoco, and I think one of the my little things that I have at Scarlet and Violet, I'm like, oh man, I wish is some of the Pokemon that I really enjoy, and I don't know if this is true for you guys as well, but some of the Pokemon I really enjoy have overlapping typings. Ooh, heck yes, Stone Edge. I mean, I know it's weaker than Rock Blast, or stronger. It's got the same. I said weaker. I was gonna say it's got a weaker accuracy is what I meant to say, but it doesn't. It's 80-80. So yeah, goodbye Rock Blast, which is coming clutch. Hello Stone Edge, and we will have to see if we can get some PP ups here at some point, or max PP, and bring that number 5 to 8. I was gonna go for Stone Edge right here and test it out, but misclick. We're still confused anyway. The stop will probably kill the Beedrill. Um, but Fuecoco, right, is a ghost fire. So when I started Violet, I went with, I think, Quaxley. I got a little bit more, a little closer to the edge than I wanted to. So we'll heal up. We'll play that safe. But when I was playing Violet, I started with Quaxley because I really wanted Armor Rouge. Not Armor Rouge, Cerulege. But that's also Ghost Fire. Armor Rouge in Scarlet, right, is Ghost and Psychic, which is different than Ghost Fire, but it's another Ghost type. There's the Ghost Dog, which makes it hard to have, just that many ghosts on the team. And that's something I've thought about, is there are so many cool ghost type Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet. Maybe a ghost only run would make some sense. There's so many awesome dogs in Scarlet and Violet that maybe a dog run would be pretty cool. Because then you've got some fun typings too. You've got Fairy, you can get Fire, you get Dark, you get Ghost. Some pretty good type coverage. I think we've talked about that in the past too. But or the I'm blanking on new Pokemon names so hard right now. The little toy, the gold coin chest that evolves into the Goldengo, I think. There we go. I knew I'd come up with it eventually. Ghost and Steel. Really cool Pokemon. I mean, hard to get. You have to get all the coins and stuff, but they give me cool coins. But what an awesome Pokemon. But again, it's a ghost type. And then you just have this whole ghost type mono run. And that's one of my little pet peeves is they introduced a lot of cool Pokemon, but wish there was a little bit more type diversity in them. I think I will say that Reverum, I believe is how you say that, the new Pokemon's name. New. It's been out several months now, so who knows. But that became one of my favorites. I mean, I'm getting hail there. That's okay. Another one that has really grown on me through the playthroughs is Clodsire. When I first started playing, I was like, Clodsire. But then the more Terra raids you do, the more Terra battles, Clodsire, especially if you get Curse on it, which is an egg move, yes, but you get Curse on there. With Water Absorb, like the Flying Pikachu Terra raid, Clodsire was the only way, I think, to get that. That was a ridiculously hard one to do. So But it was, Cloudsire's just really growing on me for that purpose. I don't know, like well, maybe in a playthrough, we might, someday use that. But wasn't really on the team as I was building the team up. It was really for the purposes of getting through some of those stairs. And yeah, sorry for the mouse there. We are going to move our Tailo onto the team here, just so we can fly real quick. To Mahogany down. And then we'll go switch back out. We won't need the flying for a few moments at least anyway. I'll do this without the mouse this time. Sorry about the mouse. You see more of the mouse in this episode than anywhere else. I don't remember if we healed up at the Pokemon Center before we flew over here or not, so we'll do it now, just to be safe. I'd rather heal twice than not at all. So yeah, we get. I think what we're going to do first is we're going to take down all these trainers. There's not a ton of them, half dozen or so. But we'll get through the trainers first. And we didn't buy any Pokeballs. So we'll do that. We'll fly back. We'll buy some Pokeballs. We'll buy some Repels. Because once we get our encounter in the ice tunnel there, we will want to just get through the ice tunnel. There's only the one encounter there. There's no trainers, nothing like that. And this should time out pretty well that we will get 2 Blackthorn in a reasonable time to wrap up the episode. Now this could do some really good damage. I know it's not stab and it's not going to do that much damage. I thought it would do more. I also thought, I thought that said high jump kick instead of just regular jump kick, which probably would have done even more damage to us. But nothing we have to worry about from the little bunny there. We will take down the little bunny. One of the struggles I have in playthroughs, specifically when I have an amulet coin, is like the stone plate would be nice to put on Denny P67 because Stone Edge, right, is powerful as it is, but gets that little bit of boost for the stone plate. But I have the amulet coin, so I want to, especially when you get to Elite Four, it would make some sense. But I have the amulet coin, and the Elite Four pays like the most amount of money, so why wouldn't I want the money? I think it's most important maybe for Red, because at that point, who cares? You either win against Red or Red beats us. But we want the best shot. So at that point, yeah, stone plate, splash plate, leftovers if we can find those at some point, like whatever we're gonna get to a soothe or a shell bell, whatever we can find that's gonna help out the team. Yeah, we're gonna load up berries if we have to. So. All right, well, we're not going to risk a crit again, even if we heal up. Super effective on us. We're glad he iron defenses. Doesn't really matter because Aura Sphere is special, not physical. And we're super effective anyway. We'll keep Luca in. I know Poison, or I'm pretty sure Poison resists fighting, but we still have a Steel type move here. And they can't, Coughing can't really poison us. Dark's not very effective. We do want to be cautious because I know Wheezing can get like Explosion too. I don't know if Coughing is going to have it at level 27, but or 29 even. Doesn't matter. We took it down. Something to monitor. Just be aware of. I didn't think of it at all during the electrode battle, so got to keep that top of mind while it is top of mind. Because we hate to lose another team member into that. I think after this trainer there might be 3 or 4 more, but should probably heal up Denny P67 because Vigoroth can learn like counter and stuff like that, and if that hadn't killed, I would have felt like a fool to lose Denny P67 or something like that. I've said this in previous, I think, episodes, and if I haven't, I'll say it for sure now. I'm just remembering that Bulbasaur does have Effect Spore, so this might put us to sleep or paralyze us. No, we got lucky. But I've watched other Pokemon too, Pokemon players on YouTube, and I've talked about how it's so much different playing Pokemon while you're commentating or having a conversation with somebody else than it is just playing Pokemon on your own. And we're not doing anything cooperative yet. Hopefully down the line we see some co-ops, but just trying to commentate as you play. I've noticed there's a lot of times where I'll get off on a tangent and I forget, oh gosh, we're going to heal up Denny P67, and sometimes we get away with it and sometimes we haven't. So I definitely am trying to understand that thought process of it's not just as easy as clicking the buttons and muscle memory. Sometimes you get lost and you forget because you're on to the next thought, on to the next conversation, whatever it might be. And I imagine that um, having a co-op and having someone else that you're talking to, so basically two brains firing on all cylinders and having those conversations could definitely make that challenge as well, which would be fun. Just got a text from my aunt who is working on a public report that she's doing, so nothing like private or anything like that. And having a shiny stone. If we didn't lose Togetic, and she's asking she needs some editorial help, some grammar, commas, and stuff like that. And having a master's in English, I get that a lot from family members and friends. And happy to help whenever I can. So just let her know as we wrapped up that previous battle that I can help out in a little bit. But right now we are taking down Pokemon. That is priority number one right at the moment. So we've got one more trainer here, and then we're going to get our encounter here. We're going to get our encounter in the ice cave. We'll make our way through the ice cave. We might not need to get Pokeballs. We'll check after we take down the Slacking. I'm a little afraid of counter because this is not stat, but we're 19 levels higher than Slacking, and it is super effective. So that momentary pause there was me just thinking, if this doesn't kill, counter's going to take us down. But didn't have to worry about it. We took it down regardless. Torchic would be a phenomenal Pokemon to have. I know we have a good fighting type in Luca, but Torchic is one of my favorite fire types. Blaziken is one of my favorite fire types. So Torchic would be phenomenal. Any of that line. Muskin. Yeah. Well, we know this isn't holding anything because Klutz. Which is too bad. It would just make it easier to train. But such is life. Also not sponsored by Yeti, but Yeti. If you want to sponsor somebody who has 17 videos on YouTube, why would you? Maybe someday down the road, but why not? So let's see. If we fish, we're guaranteed a level 20. If we go to the grass or just surf here. I think it can be higher. We don't have surf yet on Orion. So let's go teach surf to Orion. Oh, we got eruption. When did we get eruption? Have we had eruption for a while? As it just said, sometimes you don't pay attention as much and don't realize what we've seen, so. We'll get rid of water gun. And more likely than not, eventually this Omastar is going to have water gun, or waterfall, surf, whirlpool, and then some other move. Well, let's go surfing and let's see what we can find here. In other playthroughs I've done on my own, this has been a place where sometimes you can find some really broken Pokemon like Rayquaza, and sometimes you're stuck with like Weedle. So I won't sleep on Weedle or Caterpie or anything like that, but let's hope for something big and powerful. That's our first legendary encounter. That is worth going for sure. Now the question becomes, how do we weaken this? The question becomes, how many Pokeballs do we have? We got a ton. Okay. I'm sitting there going Wendy, but everything we have is super effective. We have a move on Wendy that we talked about in the last episode is going to make this easier to catch Pokemon. Now the downside is we lost Venus, who was our sleep Pokemon. But we have Nightshades, so we'll use a couple Nightshades. Literally, I think we're going to use 2 Nightshades, and then we're going to get Wendy out of there because Wendy is weak to if Latias has a Psychic move. Wendy would be weak to it. We're not too worried about the paralysis. Let's really quickly see who has our best special defense. 76, Lucas 73, but super effective. 92 special defense on Bartlett. So we might switch in Bartlett. Take a couple of Dragon Pulses and Psychic moves. We're not poisoned, so nothing super effective against us. Water Sport, we're not going to. So Water Sport, Dragon Breath is the big one that Latias has right now. Safeguard. We don't know what the 4th move is yet. Nope, we don't want to battle. We also have Synthesis, so we can heal ourselves up. And we'll start checking Ultra Balls. Now, Latias is a hard catch, but we've got 40-something Ultra Balls. We will see what we can do to make this happen. This would be phenomenal to have on the team. We would happily take this. For sure, we would take this. 2 shakes. And we've done pretty much all we can do to weaken this down right now, right? And we've got a ton of money. We saw that earlier. We will use every ball we can that we have if that's what it takes. I mean, it could struggle at some point, for sure. But it's got a ton of safeguards and dragon breaths and water sports to go through before that, so I'm cautiously optimistic. Let's put it that way. Cautiously optimistic. The only other legendaries we've run into, of course, were Reggies, and we didn't even try because explosion and self-destruct and stuff like that. So we wanted to protect the team. But Latias isn't going to have one of those. So we're not too afraid of that. Helping Hand is the 4th move. Okay, so we only really have to worry about Dragon Breath, which we're 12 levels higher. We have really good special defense. We can heal up as we need to. We've got probably 100 plus Pokeballs, all things considered. Oh, easily. So we will do everything we can until the struggles of self-death to make Latias a part of the team. And we are going to need a very, very powerful nickname for Latias. If we can catch it. I know that's a little premature to start thinking about that now, but definitely worth something to think about if we can get it. What do we name it? Interesting too that it hasn't gone for a Dragon Breath yet. It hasn't really tried to do anything to hurt us. There it is. Spoken into existence, I guess. Oh, look at that. We ate that. We don't mind the paralysis because we're not trying to attack. We're trying to catch. We are trying to catch us a Latias. Sorry for the lack of commentary. I'm interested in how we're going to do here. If we can make this happen. I believe we can. Cautiously optimistic. I was really expecting a triple jiggle and then a kick out right there, but it did not kick out. We caught ourselves a Latias. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I am super stoked about that. All right, so that means we definitely need to go find ourselves a strong nickname for this. So give me 1 second here. I'm going to use the phone and go back to some previous episodes and take a look at some of the comments we have had on the channel. Should have done this in advance, but I was definitely not expecting to run into a Latios and have such power for our encounter here. Alright, so you know what we're going to do? Because we don't want to spend all this time looking through that, and I don't really know how to use that. We're going to name this Danders because we lost Danders before. So Danders are going to come back even stronger as a Latios. And I'm pretty sure Latios can learn Fly, so that instantly becomes our flying Pokemon. Which will be nice to have a full-time flyer on the team. What would we have gotten here? A Licky Licky. Boy, did we choose the right thing to do in surfing, didn't we? Wow. Okay. And then just out of curiosity, right? Let's just do this real quick. Because I don't think we're going to see anything better, but I just want to know what would it have been if we decided to fish? What would it have been if we had decided to fish? It would have been a Suicune. So, not bad. We would have had a legendary encounter either way, but we will take the Latias for sure. No offense to Suicune. Um, we have a water type. We don't have a dragon type. We don't really have a psychic type on the team. So, heck yes. So, let's go get our other encounter. That took a little bit longer to catch the Latias. So, let's get one more encounter here, and then we'll wrap up. We'll finish going through the tunnel here afterward. We still would like a fire type for sure, but having a Latias on the team soon will be phenomenal. All right, let's see what we get here. It's a really strong ground type. We have some strong ground types, but I'm not mad about this. Good strong ground type to have in the back for sure. We will bring Wendy back in. I know she's paralyzed, but we saw how important Nightshade can be for us. It just helped us catch a Latias. I'm so stoked for that. I still don't feel like it's real. It doesn't feel real to me. It doesn't feel real that we just caught a Latias. And we didn't even waste all of our Ultra Balls doing it. Like, and I don't mean waste, but like we didn't use them all up. And we still have 28 Ultra Balls. First ball Bassi comes through on the Hippowdon. Look at that. Look at that. All right, so my Hippowdons I typically name the same thing when they identify as male, as this one appears to do. I will name this Madagascar, and when they identify as female, I name them Gloria from Madagascar. I believe that's the name of the hippo. So Madagascar it is. Madagascar will go to the box. We're going to wrap up the episode here. In the next episode, we will go grab Latias. We will put Latias on the team. We will get Latias trained up, and we will make our way to Blackthorn at gym number 8. We got 2 more encounters coming. But what an awesome, legendary episode this was. For once, an episode on our side. We broke the trend. No deaths in this episode, and instead we add a legend. What up? So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, until next time.